Several years ago, the baseball players, being an underpaid and impoverished lot, decided to go on strike, demanding a higher salary. And when they did this, they did so knowing that all of the season ticket holders, that all of the individuals who had pre-purchased specific tickets for specific dates centered around birthdays and anniversaries and such, that basically all of the baseball fans collectively would be screwed. Eventually, the baseball hierarchy caved to their demands, and the baseball players got their money. Now, someone somewhere at that point decided that it might be a good idea to assuage, to ameliorate the hurt feelings which maybe were incurred by the fans owing to this strike, and that as a gesture, a souvenir baseball would be given out at the first game of the season. This in fact took place, as each and every fan filed into the stadium through the box office, handing over their ticket. They were presented with a brand new baseball as a souvenir. Eventually, the grandstand filled with all of those fans. The players took their place on the field. The umpire was just about to say, "Play ball," when all of a sudden, rather reminiscent of an ancient Roman public stoning, the field was pelted with baseballs. And as such, so were the players. They came raining down from left field and right field. The baseball players were dumbstruck. They were astounded. They went running for cover into the dugouts, as if they didn't know what was happening. And yet, you could see it in their faces, in their shame, and would you believe it or not, in their anger. They knew exactly what was happening, and they knew why. Now, not being a sports fan, when I saw that on television, I laughed and laughed. But the point, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, punks and skins, is this. Whether we are speaking of baseball players, of athletes, or of movie stars, of celebrities in general, indeed, whether we are speaking of politicians, we are speaking of a very select group whose fame, whose wealth and riches, whose popularity, and indeed whose power is all comprised by a success which was bestowed upon all of them by all of you. And being such a very select group, they become, to use a term which you hear so frequently, a minority. This, in turn, by ratio, would make all of you the majority. And since in this country, exploiting and extorting, suppressing and oppressing, controlling and corralling minorities, keeping minorities under one's thumb is apparently the order of the day, well then, since that fame, since the wealth and the riches, since the popularity and the power originated from all of you, it just as rightly belongs to all of you to take it back. That baseball hierarchy and all of those hundreds of fans in the grandstand, they become one and the same in the sense that the power vested in the players came from all of you. Revisiting ancient Rome and those public stonings, be it a stone, be it a baseball, or be it a brick, since you gave the power to them by way of your support, by way of your love, by way of your celebratory enthusiasm, by way of your service, by way of your votes, by way of your ballots, your bullets, and your blood. Since the power came from you, it belongs to you to reclaim that power any time you see fit.